Welcome to PLMA Live. I'm Jodi Daley, and with me at the news desk is Brian Sharoff, president of PLMA. Well, organics has become a household rule for many shoppers. They believe that the products are fresher, better, and healthier. And it's not limited to produce either. Shoppers look at ingredients and even non-food products for their organic or natural composition. As a category, organics now represents more than $35 billion in sales and grew 12% over last year.
You know what many marketers don't realize is that more than half of the sales come in mainstream supermarkets, and retailers' store brands have actually led the way. Safeway, Kroger, and Costco, as well as specialty retailers like Whole Foods and Trader Joe's, have been in the forefront, and almost every grocery chain heralds that they offer organic products, whether private label or brands.
Of course, the big news in organics is the announcement by Walmart that it will distribute the Wild Oats brand of organic pasta sauces, spices, and so on at the same prices as conventional products. It could mean the next surge of organics. With me is Kelly Tackett, who is the U.S. Research Director for Planet Retail. Welcome, Kelly.
Thanks, Jodi.
So what's the impact of Walmart's plan?
By positioning the Wild Oats brand as 25% less expensive than comparable national organic brands, Walmart will definitely increase the accessibility of organics to a wider swath of consumers. And this can only be viewed as a positive for the overall category.
So would you say Walmart is late to the game?
Momentum has been growing around organics for the past several years, with sales growth far outpacing that of non-organics. And given the slow growth environment and tight margins that many grocers are facing, it just makes good business sense to get into organics.
So what's the impact on other mass merchandisers and mainstream supermarkets?
The mere presence of Walmart is certain to have them reevaluating their strategy. And let's be honest, Walmart is all about price. These retailers are going to need to ensure that their prices are competitive, or else find some other way to differentiate to remain in the same consideration set for shoppers with Walmart.
Can Walmart succeed selling organics this way?
In a word, yes, but let's remember that this initial launch is only 100 products out of a total of about 1,600 products across the retailer's shelves in the organic space. That's why I view this launch as more of a trial rather than something that's going to have a meaningful short-term impact. Where I do see the potential is for Walmart to very quickly scale up this initiative across categories and across product lines should consumer response be favorable.
Thank you so much, Kelly.
Thank you, Jodi.
The transition to mainstream is gaining momentum. David Merrifield spoke with Maryellen Molyneaux, president of the Natural Marketing Institute.
Maryellen, who is winning the battle for organic sales in the U.S. today?
Look at Nielsen data or IRI data, you'll clearly see that the grocery channel is really winning. And I think that some mass merchandisers are really starting to pull on that, certainly an area they're looking for growth from.
What's the appeal of organic to mainstream retailers?
They're looking to organic for a growth area. They're looking to win these consumers also, because the consumers who spend the most on organic are very valuable consumers.
How do consumers feel about organics?
The consumers now are exposed to more, they're given more options that are probably closer to being within their budget, and they're starting to compare more. And you can look at even Whole Foods. Whole Foods in their 365 line, you know, their own house brands have reduced the prices. And one of the things they're really talking about within their marketing pieces and on their website is compare our prices on our 365. We're better than the national brands, and we're in some cases better than the cost that you're paying for conventional products.
Maryellen, thanks for being with us.
Thank you so much. It was good to be here.
It wasn't long ago that organics was a cottage industry of small farms selling products directly to savvy consumers. PLMA Live News Director Bob Fosberg talked to Bill Crawford, who follows organics growth on the blog NewHope360.com.
Bill, at what point did organic go mainstream?
And they tried in the 60s, tried in the 70s, tried in the 80s. But when they tried in the 90s, it stayed. So that probably was the decade where it seemed like it caught on, where that space was producing strong enough revenue for our grocery operators saying, we need to keep this stuff on the shelves. And obviously it's grown and become a very robust, very popular part of their offering since then.
Is there a life cycle for organics?
You've got brands go through a curve where it starts going introduction, growth, maturity, then hopefully at some point, but hopefully not soon, getting decline. And as you go up that curve, at the early stages, it's more a niche audience and it's more developing who you are and your messaging and convincing people they need you. And as you climb up that growth curve and get towards maturity, there's more of an emphasis on efficiency of distribution and efficiency in pricing. So it does create a scenario that really jibes in well with the Walmart move to do the Wild Oats brand, with the new focus that Target is having on its Made For You brand, and the Made For You consortium of brands, and the opportunity for many national chains to focus on pricing in their private label, because the focus is going to be coming a bit more on pricing.
And how fast is the organic category growing?
Its growth rate for the past number of years, and its projected growth rate even, is between 10 and 12% a year, which means that we're looking at compounded growth. About every 7 years, organics is doubling in size, and nothing else in the food landscape is growing that quickly. So it's probably, while a small total percentage, a strong success story that's getting a lot of attention, both from manufacturers, retailers, and ultimately consumers.
Bill, how much of an impact has the National Organic Seal had on the popularity of organics?
I think it had a huge impact. The USDA Organic Seal is actually recognized by over 50% of consumers, and I think only 13% don't trust it. So how many federal programs? 87% of people trust it, it's accurate, and it's doing what it's supposed to do.
What role is private label playing in the growth of organics?
It shows a store's commitment when they are willing to brand part of their private label as being organic. And to their shoppers, they can say, hey, this isn't really a fad, this is the store's putting its identity and linking it to organic, and not just something that they're carrying in a third-party brand that, if the winds of change blow a certain way, it's gone next week. It's a bit more permanent when they put their own brand to it and tie their store's image and equity to it.
Thanks for joining us, Bill.
Thanks for having me, Bob.
But what about the suppliers? Do organics present new headaches for manufacturers, or is everything under control? Tim Simmons spoke with Chad Hagen, Vice President of Sales for SunOpta, a company specializing in natural and certified organic foods.
Chad, what's the current state of the organic supply chain?
Generally speaking, the organic supply chain is stronger now than it's ever been. Organic sales in the United States in 2013 surpassed $35 billion, and it's really this robust global supply chain that's helping fuel that and sustain that growth.
And how does the organic supply chain work?
You know, planning is very important. It takes 3 years to transition from transitional to organic or conventional to organic. So it's really important as an industry that we stay ahead of it at the farm gate and transition these crops into organic over time. So we need to establish a 3 to 5 year plan to stay ahead of the growth. That way supply and demand can have that equilibrium and stay ahead of that growth.
How has the growth of organics changed the way you source ingredients?
Over the last many decades, we've developed a vast global network of organic growers and producers that extends to over 60 countries. So from a sourcing perspective, we've looked at investing further and further down the supply chain. So a few examples, we've just invested in a new state-of-the-art cocoa facility in Holland, so we can be closer to the raw material and develop those raw materials in cocoa powder, cocoa butter, and cocoa liquor. Another example is we've made investments in Ethiopia around sesame and coffee. So these investments further down the supply chain allow us to help stay ahead of the growth.
Finally, how do you ensure that globally sourced products and ingredients meet U.S. organic standards?
The important piece is really ensuring the integrity of that organic supply chain and making sure that that integrity is sound. So it's really responsible of stewards like ours in the industry, like us in the industry, to be able to go out there and making sure that the producers and the growers in these foreign countries have the organic technology, microbiological technology to be able to farm these crops, if either it's composting or insect control, and making sure that the accredited certification bodies in these foreign countries are doing proper audits to ensure that integrity is intact.
Chad, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you, Tim.
So, will Walmart's move into organics at conventional prices trigger the next surge in consumer interest? Will it force other retailers to copy the strategy? Well, whichever way the answer comes out, the marketing of organics may never be the same again. For Brian and myself, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time on PLMA Live.